everyone. This is Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap the plot of romance novels while giggling, making fun of ourselves, and being completely in love with both romance and our friendship. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has rated and reviewed this podcast wherever they listen. It really helps other people find us and makes us feel warm and fuzzy when we read them. If you haven't yet, we'd love it if you would take a moment to rate and review us. Oh, and this week on Patreon, we're releasing some sourdough goodness with Natalie of Ask a Badass and Holly from the Wildly Tarot podcast. So check that out as well. And now we've got a special treat for you. It's a super alien romance, and I mean super alien. The side characters are top-notch as well. I don't want to give too much away, so here is part 1 of our discussion of Strangelove by Ann Aguirre. Hi, Erin!
Hey, Mel.
What the fuck do you have to say to me? What?
Guys, she was talking to me and I was just like, press record. I want them to know. Because she took a video. Melody, listen, I was playing around with some effects on the video because I found out.
Into an alien and it was very disconcerting. No worries. I think I got some screenshots. So
I was trying to make my Bluetooth headphones work and I clicked effects because I thought maybe one of the effects would be paired to a Bluetooth headphone. But instead it's more like sunglasses and stuff. So then I clicked it again to see what kind of hijinks I could get up to. And I could turn myself into several different aminals and aliens.
Oh my God.
And then I could put little stickers all around. But then I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. Mm-hmm. And then I found out because I couldn't see Melody during this time. I could only see myself.
Yeah.
Then I found out Melody was filming me with her phone, which is
not
bullshit.
Not the whole time, just for a little while.
Definitely when, here's the thing, I don't mind it if you film it with all the filters on. When the filters go away, then they find out what I look like. And they don't look great.
And then I said, you're fucking beautiful. Your hair is so long. And it looks really
Stop
healthy.
It. No. Stop it right there. She's like, you look great. Your hair is so long. That's not a compliment. That's not a compliment, Melody.
I just haven't seen it in a while. And it looks really healthy. What do you want from me?
Healthy's a compliment.
Whatever,
your
bro.
hair is long is not a compliment. It's just a fact. It's just like...
Well, guess what I did, Erin? Guess what I did? I gave myself an at-home haircut. I've got an inverted bob done by Melody Carlisle.
Melody. You gave yourself a haircut?
Oh yeah! Not only that, Erin, I'm about to put my hair back up. It looks really good. It's been in a messy bun.
It looked okay from the front.
No, it looks great.
Yeah.
But the thing that is really fucking exciting about it is, hold on, just a sec.
What? You
can
undercut!
Put it
oh, shit.
Undercut!
Because she shaved her head. Oh no, Melody.
Under motherfucking cut, and I feel.
Mean, you look cool.
Thank you. I feel so breezy.
Cool. Do you think? Oh my gosh. I commend your bravery.
It's the first time I've ever done it. I was terrified, but I did it because hair grows back and I don't have a serious work job that I have to impress people at.
You have a serious work job. You just don't have an office work job.
It's not like an office one. Yeah.
What? Did you do it yourself?
No, Michael did it.
Michael did it.
Yeah.
Show me again. Turn around again. Oh my gosh. It's pretty straight.
Oh, it's real straight. Yeah.
I would expect nothing less from Michael, to be honest.
No, I did the part. Come on. And then I kept on being like, is it all straight? And he was like, I mean, yeah. And I was like, no. This is when I need your perfectionism to come out, sir. Mm-hmm. Your project-oriented perfectionism. And he was like, it's like a millimeter or something. And I'm like, then fix it. He did not care.
Melody, I will tell you that your hair looks super cute.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, I'm petty. And so I'm only going to offer you the same compliment that you offered me, which is your hair is shaved in the back, period.
It is, isn't it? Isn't it great?
Yeah, it is.
I'm so excited.
How dare you not be offended by my backhanded bullshit. All right.
Erin, I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story to share with you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Comes from Katie A.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to share it with you because we haven't had a listener mishap story in a while. So I wanted to start the episode off with a listener mishap story. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you call 10 minutes in starting the episode off, sure.
Go fuck yourself. It's 5 minutes. Oh,
It's 5 minutes, 35, 6, 7. She hates it when I do this because when she edits it, then it's inaccurate.
Yep. God damn it. Okay. She has been catching up on the podcast because she usually listens to it in her car, and she was on Barbarian's Choice, and she was at a fast food restaurant drive-thru, okay? And
wait, I need to know which one is Barbarian's Choice, though.
That's the one I did.
The one you did with Danny?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even a part of this story. I'm just going to listen quietly to the story about your podcast that you have with your new best friend, Danny. Whatever, it's fine. You and Katie A have so much fun. Whatever.
Woo. Okay, so she normally listens like with the volume on pretty loud, and she always forgets about her sunroof. So she's like 10 cars back on this on this line to get.
That's such a mood, listening to something super loud and forgetting you have a sunroof. That's such an HB move. Okay, yeah.
So she keeps on like pausing it in order to like roll down her window or whatever to pay or order or whatever.
And it matters not at all.
No. So then she goes, when I pressed play, it was on the part where Melody says, "You guys, they cover themselves in latex." And I paused it to give them my card and get my food at, "Did I bring labia into the conversation and you weren't into it?" And then the person in the vehicle behind her yells, screeches out their window. It says, "What in God's name are you listening to?" At this point, I don't know if they're pissed or intrigued or a little of both, or if their kids are in the back seat and are about to start asking what a pussy flap is.
Those
or
kids
what.
are listening to Kids Bop. They're fine. Tell them what's up.
Yeah. But then I remembered that I am a fierce human, and who are you to judge me for my listening? So I smoothly, this is my other favorite part, I smoothly parentheses, hit my head on the window opening, end parentheses, leaned out my window, and I see this pink-haired, beautiful person with 6 piercings and one of those well-done temple tattoos that I will never have the facial structure for, and I screeched back, "Heaving bosoms!" And she yelled back, "Thank you!"
Oh my gosh! When was this? Could she be listening? Goddess, listen to us. If you are the drive-through pink-haired goddess, please announce yourself in the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. I would love to meet you.
Please. We need to know who you are, you beautiful person.
That's the best way of finding this podcast I've ever heard.
I know. And Katie, thank you for sharing the gospel of Heaving Bosoms.
Totally.
That's right. You are a fierce human. I'm about
I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. If you get caught with this podcast loud, the one that to me is the most mortifying is the girl that was teaching CrossFit and paired her phone to the speakers of the gym or the cube or whatever the hell they call it.
I know that one. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like automatically paired because she's the teacher and she does the music, and it just started and she couldn't figure out how to and it was like her whole class. Yeah, that's my favorite one. But guys, just imagine it being your voice also.
That has happened to Erin.
Ordering something. I think I was at a bank, actually. It was like a drive-through bank situation, and I was trying to talk to the person, and it's like clearly your voice also. Like there's the added vanity component of like, yes, I'm listening to my own podcast, and it is about the word cunt. So anyway, I'd like to make a withdrawal from my accounts.
Yes.
All
right. I think we should get to my new favorite book.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
Melody Love book.
It's like if Ice Planet Barbarians. I think I like this book better than Ice Planet Barbarians.
I think maybe because it's so alien.
But it's also supposed to be different, though. Like, it's a different mood for sure, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, especially in like the later books, though, she really she embraces the hijinks in a way that...
You mean Ruby, our friend Ruby Dixon?
Our friend Ruby. Yeah, her. She embraces the hijinks in a way that I think this book does masterfully.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I loved this book, Erin.
I knew you would.
Start to finish.
I knew you would.
I worship this book. It's so good.
This book came highly recommended to me through my little writing group.
Yeah.
So HB Karen especially, and also Elizabeth and Neva were all over this book. Can't stop talking about it.
I'm a big fan.
Let's talk about Xylar and Beryl.
Xylar and Beryl. Oh my. And Snaps. We can't forget about Snaps.
Oh my God. Snaps the dog.
Snaps
you guys,
the dog.
As you know, I really love dogs a lot. And there's not a lot of moods, maybe none, that a good silly dog video can't get me out of.
Mm-hmm.
Cat's fine. I'm not one of those people that's like anti-cat, but they just don't do much for me. I like I like a dog. Dogs in books, I usually am not like crazy about because I feel like they're used as props. Like I feel like Jill Shalvis does it well, but I feel like they're just kind of like there. Kind of like kids. Like I'm just like, get it out of my romance. It's not part of it.
Yeah.
But if you give that dog a little voice box implant, like a little babble fish, you stick that little babble fish in that dog's ear and he becomes a character, I'm all about it.
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
And you know how I feel about the film Up? It became part of my wedding vows.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a Doug from Up vibe the whole time.
Yes!
I love Snaps the dog. Anyway.
All right. So Xylar is on his way to pick up his intended.
Good sweet Xylar.
Good sweet Xylar.
With his friend Helix, the AI.
That's right. And so Helix and Xylar encounter a solar flare that makes them go all the way off course or something. And so Xylar touches down where he thinks his intended Asvi. Yeah?
Yeah.
Asvi is?
I don't know. I have a friend named Ashvi, so I just called her Ashvi, which is not how it's spelled. It's like Asvi.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway,
and he lands on this like deserted patch of ground with like churned land and everything looks desolate and awful. Like there's just been a battle.
Yeah.
And there's this one lone creature with another small furry creature.
Yes.
And he decides that it's Asvi. And
but he's so surprised because he thinks Asvi will be there with like her whole clan. There's supposed to be like a ceremony. It's supposed to be a whole thing. And this is just like one weird creature in the middle of a nothing.
It's like they've been attacked and she's the only survivor.
Yes.
So he actually says it's like the attack was so bad that the rest of them were turned into dust or something.
Well, Helix kind of implies it too. He's like, I've scanned this area. There are no survivors but one.
Oh, yeah. Helix. And so so he gets on this suit because he knows that the air will kill him. And he gets out and he tries to introduce himself and she freaks the fuck out and she emits this sonic shriek defense mechanism that like addles his senses and it's crazy. And so he decides that in that moment that although she is in fact hideous to look upon,
he identifies her as a disgusting woman.
Yes.
The loyalty was commendable that she's still standing there even though there's been clearly some kind of horrible situation. The loyalty was commendable, but she looked nothing like the dreamy blurred images. You guys, people get catfished in space too. Like somebody sending over blurry images like this is what I look like. The dreamy blurred images she'd sent to the matching service. No, kitten. Is it kitten?
Kitten?
Wait. Chitin. 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 Mm-hmm.
Because can I tell you something real quick about my brain? Can I tell you
something real quick about my brain?
About 2/3 of this book, I was saying chitten in my mind.
For 100% of this book, I was saying chitlins in my mind, which is very not right, but delicious.
What even are chitlins?
Aren't they like the leftovers from like chicken gizzards and stuff? Isn't that chitlins?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't that what the... I don't know. Just cut all of it. Oh, God. But anyway, so then I was like, no, Erin, you are going to record this podcast and you are going to get this right. You're going to look up this word before you record the podcast. You're going to, A, know what it means, and B, know how to pronounce it. Because you guys, it's throughout the book, because this is the description of his thorax,
Mm-hmm.
we would say.
His thorax, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. His schmabdomen.
Schmabdomen. Maybe pause a moment while I look up chitlins.
I already did. Chitlins are, or chitterlings, are a type of food with an unappetizing origin. They're the small intestines of a pig, or gizzards, or like tripe, or whatever.
Oh, okay, so I was right.
Yeah.
So I've always called the chicken gizzards the chitlins. My mom's very into chitlins, specifically chicken gizzards. So, but here, listen. Here we go. So I've made the commitment.
Are we getting back to his schmabdomen?
I've made the commitment. I'm looking up this word. I will know how to pronounce it, and I will know what it means. So I've looked it up. I know what it means. It's his hard shell abdomen, schmabdomen, thorax. Mm-hmm. So I know it. I'm good. And I look and it says Kitten is the pronunciation. And I'm like, kitten, I've got it. And then not until I said it out loud here on the podcast was I like, nope, that's kitten. That's a small young cat. There's no way that's how to pronounce it. So it is indeed kitten.
Kitten.
Anyway, this bitch doesn't have one. No chitin, no feelers, not even a couple of head tails. No wonder she didn't want me to see her face. Frankly, this creature was hideous, but since he'd been rejected 4 times at the choosing, he wouldn't win any prizes either, even amongst his own people. Oof.
Oh.
He has identified her as a disgusting woman.
And I love it.
Yeah, and so she emits her sonic shriek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he just like fucking snatches her up and snatches up her tiny friend.
Yep.
And
puts her on the boat. Get on that boat.
Did you at this point identify this as our heroine?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big dummy and I didn't. So I was just like, yeah, this is what's her fuck. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. She catfished him with her blurry images. La 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 la. Oh! I'm an idiot. I'm a moron.
Nope. Okay. So then we learn that it's his last opportunity to go through the choosing. Otherwise, he becomes a worker drone. And it is scary town. Population him. It's a tragic town. It's bad. So he like, I think like it says 2 beams are off in the distance and they're coming toward them really fast. And Helix is like, we got a GTFO like now. And he's like, yeah, that might be an attack. We can come back and attack back if we need to, but it would be a tactical error to stay. It's so cute.
Right.
So he fucks off the planet and then he goes into hyperdrive just as Helix is going, I have something to talk to you about, princess. And he's like, what? Okay, well, I still gotta go.
Princess?
Yeah. So they're like way the fuck off into space. And by the time Helix is like, oh, hey, girl, that wasn't the right planet. I don't know what planet that was.
Remember that solar flare? It fucked with me and we were on some rando planet.
And he's like, does that mean? And then the AI responds, yes, you kidnapped a couple of lower primates, princess.
He's calling him princess. It's the best.
It's the best. So then he's like, and also I'm like all scrambled and I don't know where that planet is now. It could be anywhere. Statistically, it's impossible to find it again. So here we are. Now we've got these primates. Yeah, absolutely. And so he's like, as he was like looking at her on the ground, he was like, I'm sure all of this is just trauma. And so I have committed to her, even though she is a disgusting woman. And I don't have to like looking upon her.
Sure.
I just need to commit to her and she will be the most fearsome nest guardian.
Right. Because Melody kind of alluded to it, but he's from this planet where like overpopulation is an issue and like you need to go through this crazy dating game, basically, to be able to get a match. And that's the only way to be a successful person on the planet. Everybody else is relegated to like menial chores and loneliness and poverty for the rest of their lives. So it doesn't really matter who you get paired to. You just got to get paired. And if you go through the dating game 5 times and you don't get paired, you're fucked. You're done. So like he's been through 4 times and no one has picked him. I just imagine like a junior high dance and just like so no sad. Girls going for Xylar. And no one has picked him, and he's sure that he will not get picked in the 5th one either. So he's got to go to like rando planets where like they don't know how ugly he is.
Oh, it's so sad town.
But spoiler alert, they do know how ugly he is, because when Beryl, the human, wakes up, she does identify him as a disgusting alien.
Oh my God, she's terrified of him.
Yes,
well, so
do you
she
want me to
wakes
read
up
it?
really. Yes, please.
2 arms, 2 legs, but that was where the similarity to humans stopped. It had arched and scaly feet like a bird and 3 fingers tipped with ferocious claws. Spines grew from the creature's skull and ran down the back, while side-set eyes looked faintly insectoid. No ears or nose, just slits in the faceplate and what looked like a maw or a beak. The alien had what she called a thorax more than a chest, and prickly things growing out of the neck? ? While she stared, tissue puffed out, thickening its throat with transparent webbing. Somehow she managed not to scream this time, though she did get the hiccups again. Hi, she tried. Poor Beryl.
Poor Beryl. So Beryl was just down there on Earth doing her court-required community service because she got super drunk and peed in an alley.
And then court-mandated community service means she has to do what? Civil War reenactments? What kind of war reenactments is she even doing?
It was like a Ren Fair, I think.
Oh, I thought it was a war reenactment.
Well, it was, but it was a medieval types one.
I have never known there to be a medieval types war reenactment.
Of course there are. Are you kidding? People joust all the fucking time.
Okay, tell me the difference between a medieval times war reenactment and LARPing. Do you think
it's the same thing?
That medieval times war reenactors are just like snobby people who are like, LARPers, and they're doing the same thing? Because I think so.
Ooh, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Anyway. Hey, Clippy, if you know, get at us.
Is Clippy a LARP? Oh, she is!
Yeah, Clippy LARPs.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, Clippy get at us. Are there medieval times war reenactors that are assholes?
And are they? Do they suck?
Yeah, I would think that they would suck.
LARPers rule.
Yeah, because LARPers are the best.
Yeah, medieval time war reenactors drool. Okay.
I just feel like they sound like the worst. I don't know. Hey.
Who knows?
Probably there are HBs that are also medieval times war reenactors. We always figure this out the hard way, so there you go. Come at us. All right.
Well, the one in this one got heat stroke and just shut down the whole place. So it sounds like they suck. Yeah. One dude. Okay. So she's like super worried about butt stuff, and she's trying to talk to him, and it's she is.
I know.
Her whole thing is like, okay, there's nothing in my butt right now. Do we think there's going to be things in my butt later?
If she were on her way to Prillian Prime, there would be a gift in her butt. A gift.
That's right. Yeah,
actually,
a couple of them.
A series of escalating gifts. And she would be happy about it.
It's true.
Like Beryl's going the wrong direction. She could have had something in her butt, and she would have been very happy.
Yeah. So he comes at her with a quickness, and there's like a pain in the base of her skull. Yeah.
That's how he stands. He comes at her with a series of snaps and clicks and churs. It's like it's like an Independence Day when they crack the shell out of that alien, and then he does take that tentacle and wraps it around that long hair man and makes him talk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And he's like back there, and he's like, it's like all the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you got that reference.
Like that.
Because every time one of them like churred or went, that's what I saw.
All right. Okay. And then he does the same thing to Snaps. And he's like keeps talking to her. And then finally he says, "Is it working? Can you understand me?" And then her dog says, "Yup." Yup.
Oh, okay.
I can understand you.
Guys,
Oh, I'm a good boy.
some books have butt machines that eat your poops.
That's
some
right.
books have cooeys that are implanted into your chest that sing to others. This book has a beautiful babblefish that does go in your brain that makes you understand everyone and everything. However, it is called something else, I'm sure, and it is only made. It is something that those aliens made for their beasts of burden, so it only understands certain words, which creates a lot of issues.
A lot of excellent hijinks.
Not for Snaps, but for her and Zylar. Yep.
Zylar.
Yep. That's a name I knew right off the top of my head.
That's the one. So he's like, all right, here's what happened though.
Whoops.
Oopsies. He tells her all about it, and then he's like, in my brain, you have 3 options. 1, I can drop you off on a space station, and you can sort of figure it out on your own. 2, I think the second option is just like go to the planet and be in the choosing as a rando? Question mark? I don't remember what the second one is.
No, I think that, so there's 3 options. 1 is like, I just let you loose. We go down on the next planet and I let you out and hope you can breathe.
Right.
The next one is he knows of a place, and I don't know if it's his planet or another one. I think it's a different planet where she could take care of kids for a living, because she let slip to him that she's a daycare provider. So he's like, I know of a place where they would hire you to watch tiny aliens. It's different from my home planet where I can drop you off. Or you can participate in the choosing, and maybe if the mood strikes, you might choose me in the choosing, because that's its own the choosing as a whole is its own option. And then he's like, caveat, it would be cool, because Zylar, guys, is all about consent.
Zylar is a big consent boner.
Zylar is not like, oh, I'm gonna take you to my planet and then like you're gonna have to choose me as like, because I've done so much for you. No. It's like, let's go to let's just see what happens.
Yeah, he says we'll enter as a pair, and then if all goes well, we would outbond, which is like get together and then raise young. But he does tell her that she has the option to choose anybody. And he's like, and in his brain, he's like, I shouldn't have told her that, but I have to. I have to.
Because
I'm a good person.
An ugly,
I have to.
Ugly alien. As if she has any idea. Because again, you guys, he looks like... He literally has only slits. Slits in his face.
It's so good. It's so good.
Then we get to one of my very favorite parts of the book where they introduce themselves. Oh, yeah. And he says, well, maybe it happened before, but this is one of my favorite passages, so I'm going to read it.
Please.
Before we proceed, oh no, I've already realized what I've done. Anyway, before we proceed, I should introduce myself. I am Zylar from Kith Baalak.
Kith Baalak, yeah.
Colony Barath. I'm Beryl Bowman, human of Earth, United States, State of Missouri, City of St. Louis. I am dog, Snap said. Dog.
It's perfect.
There's a passage in this book where she picks Snaps up and Snaps starts yelling, I am important. I'm a
big deal.
Oh my God. Okay.
Ooh, it's so good. Okay. So she looks at him and she's like, are you proposing to me right now? And he's like, yes, terrible one. Never has there ever been a nest guardian with a fiercer countenance. You will keep all the predators away. And she's like, oh, you're gonna have to work on your compliments.
Yeah.
And he's like, did that not sound like a compliment?
He says, yes, terrible one. You are the most hideous mate anyone has ever brought back to Barath, so you will drive all predators away from our nest with ease. He chirred again. A soothing sound, actually. It's like really rough. So they try to find the most terrifying wife that they can find.
Yeah, they're the nest guardian. It's so sweet because in this society, the I guess like the boy ones are more the nurturers for after the young are born, and the like other partner in the mating is the guardian of the ones that aren't born yet, the little eggs. And so they have to protect with all of their might. It's great stuff. Okay, so she asks Snaps what they should do, and he's like, go. It's great.
She tells him, fuck it, let's see how this goes. He hears copulation, ! Let's join and find out how it works.
And he's like, holy
too
shit.
Soon. That's too soon for me. We can't do that until after the choosing.
Yes. So as soon as they land, Snaps pees on a chair and says, that's mine now. And Zylar's immediate response is, oh, I will have it taken to our quarters so that Snaps can have it.
So that Snaps may have it. Because she is so deferential to Snaps, like any good human
good
is.
Dog owner?
Yeah, so she's always giving him pets and telling him he's a good boy and asking him if he needs a little walkies and stuff. And so he thinks that Snaps must outrank her on the planet because she's always like serving him.
She is his servant and he is of a higher caste, you guys.
Yeah. And so he decides that it's clear that the dog must be included in all of their decisions.
Important decisions. Yeah. Yes. It's so good. Okay, so then they do some immigration stuff, and the only important part about this scene is that Zylar intimidates another person for the first time in his life because he's like, the person like almost calls her some sort of epithet, and he's like, think again before you speak, and makes them do all the paperwork that she needs. And it's really nice because it's one of the first times that you see him gaining some confidence, not only because of Beryl, but on behalf of Beryl, like to take care of her. It's really sweet. And then that's when she says that although this alien stole her accidentally, it was clear that he meant to keep her. And that makes her really, really excited. Okay. So then it's time to go meet the parents, the progenitors.
Ugh.
It's time to go meet the progenitors.
But first she sees the city.
Yeah.
And she's very impressed by the beautiful alien city. They go up in some pods. There was a part in this where they got on some kind of like flying disc. I think it's on the way to go meet the parents.
Yeah, it's a pod. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she gets scared and he kind of like comforts her in like an alien way where he kind of like talks her down a little bit. This is very cute.
And then he automatically steps in between her and all of the gawkers. Yeah. Like he shields her with his body in a very instinctive way.
Yeah.
She is ugly AF here.
Zylar, your girlfriend. Woof. Like
he keeps on talking about all of her fur and how like the fur on her face rises of its own accord.
Yes. It's real so gross. Funny. You guys, I would be the queen.
Oh my God.
Of Barath or whatever. Because like my lack of eyebrows would be like they would be like, oh, how smooth her non-furry face is. Yep.
It's true. Oh, and on the way, he says that, like, we find out that he has this awful nestmate called Rizvin. And Rizvin is, like, the favorite of the whole family.
Graduated first in his class, cured red pit fever with his vaccine he made. Chosen before anyone else the very first time. All these accomplishments.
And so as he's with all the rest of the Barathi and her in this pod, he thinks to himself, while he couldn't keep her in isolation, the more Barathi she met, the faster she'd realize he was nobody special.
I know.
Zylar, you're a king.
You're so a king. Special, you guys. Just wait.
He's so special.
Also, he realizes that he can smell her moods, which I felt was very melody.
Oh, I loved it.
Guys, this isn't as gross as other smells in other books because I felt like the alien component like made it okay.
Yeah.
But like when she's like mad or upset or happy, he can smell it as a different smell.
Turned on.
Oh, gross. But it's different though. It's different though. It's different though. He's not like literally smelling her juices. He's just smelling her mood, which makes it far less gross.
I don't know. It gets pretty musky up in there. So
you guys, these sex scenes get very juicy.
I loved the sex scenes.
I loved them too.
We will get to it.
Myself kind of into them.
Which was
like very confusing for me. We'll get there.
Okay. So I just love this really quick. I'm sorry. There's going to be a lot of things that I just have to stop for. as they get to the progenitor's like house or whatever, like their quarters, this big giant penthouse situation, there's these really cool flowers, and it says the scent made her feel loopy, smiley, and she gave Xylar a silly grin. Save your fearsome threats for the meeting to come, he said. He thinks she's a primate.
So
she's baring her teeth. It's so good. Okay.
But wait, is this where they stop at the toilet facility?
Yeah, they do stop there on the way.
I just want to say Beryl is like bomb because she's like, I need to pee. And he's like, okay, we'll find you a way to expel your waste.
Right.
Opens up like some kind of he goes to an area where they take dignitaries from other planets that apparently has like a variety of toilets. But they don't know about Earth, so they don't have like an Earth toilet. Beryl just fucking picks one and pees on it.
She just squats somewhere.
That is a confidence that I will never have. I will never be able to look at a room of 100 alien toilets and just be like, well, I hope this one doesn't reach up and grab my vagine. Like, I know, right?
Same. I would be like, can you pour something on this before I go?
Yeah,
I want to see how it works.
Like, what if acid squirts out of it and just burns me alive? What if
this is a good question? There
are so many ways aliens could pee. What if like something comes up and just sucks me into it? There's so many things.
Not to mention that afterwards, after she pees and that like cleaning centipede comes out of the wall, I would have been out. I would have been fucking gone.
What does that do? Also, she doesn't describe all the different alien toilets, so we only know about the one that she pees on. However, it would have to be a pretty intimidating room of alien toilets for me to pee on a red square. For me to be like, red square, that's the one.
That one looks the best.
Yeah, because like that seems scary to me. That seems like lava.
That seems like a danger button.
Yeah, that's a danger. Don't pee on a danger button.
Don't pee on the danger button, you guys. That's just we're just giving you hot tips, you know?
But yeah, we're giving you hot, wrong tips.
Yeah, that would not work.
For the first time ever in the history of this podcast, we're wrong about something. Because Beryl pees on that red square, and that's right. It evaporates.
It had to happen at some point.
And it sends a warm, fragrant air up to basically a hand dryer for your urethra.
That's the one.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully they got all those labia flaps, too. That's for you!
Gross! Melody!
Out there in the fast food line, talking about labias. Now we're blow drying them.
Don't bring me your inside jokes with your best friend Danny. Don't bring that here.
Okay. So he
presents... idea that you went behind my back to do that. When I did an episode first. We were cheating on each other. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
I mean, I have feelings about your episode too, but I keep that in private.
Do you? Do you?
Okay. So Xylar takes her in and he presents her to the matriarch as is customary. He has to like get the matriarch's okay to like even join the choosing or something like that. Anyway, this big giant toolbox comes up in the middle of this important ceremony. Oh, also Snaps has gotten into a treasured fountain and is going after like their prized beta fish or something.
Yeah. Snaps may or may not be like on the verge of eating an endangered species in this like beautiful fountain, and it's like offending the shit out of everyone. And as we learn in 365, that's a power move, man. Swimming in a fountain is a motherfucking power move. Oh wait, that episode's not out yet, or it might be. I don't know how time works, but at some point on that Patreon episode, we do talk about that being a power move. Okay,
so all right,
the mom's a bitch. Yeah,
mom's a big old bitch, and then this toolbox comes over and is like, oh, hello, can I speak with you now? And she's like, don't you know it's rude to interrupt? We're doing like a ceremony here or something. Yeah. Even my dog knows that. And from the treasured fountain, Snaps goes, I do. I do know about that. And then he says, don't you understand who I am?
Yeah.
And she's like, can we go? Like,
I'm tired. I went across the universe. I just peed on a red square.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Like, everybody's around here just like clicking and whirring. Like, please, Can we just go? But she does notice in this family party, Xylar is a member of a very affluent family.
Sure, yes.
Clearly, he is the least favorite son of a very
powerful, wealthy
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, now that she's meeting other Barathi around here, she's realizing that everybody is very colorful. And like the more colors you have and more like swirls and patterns and stuff you have on your chitin.
That's the one.
The more like appealing and powerful and the more deferential
and
people
rare.
are being toward. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she does notice that Xylar is just brown. Brown and
green, Erin.
I thought he only had the brown.
Little bit of green.
Just a smidgen. Just like a little dappling of green.
It's like a muddy green, though. Muddy.
It's mostly brown green.
Yeah. And so, Anyway, so then the matriarch says, hold on. You want to go with this one instead of claim your space in the alien dormitories? And she's like, fuck no, I don't want to go there. Yes, I want to go with this one. He's been considerate and conscientious of me since
nothing's in
met.
my butt, as far as I know.
Yeah, I haven't found a single thing in my tuchus. And so I feel great about this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then they go home.
They go back to his place.
Yeah.
And he has designed the whole thing for a trillion mate.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing looks right for her.
No, nothing's good for her.
Like hard.
He makes her a plant protein square based on his scan of her biology. And I just can't imagine how gross that was. She said that it tasted like grass and what else?
And beets.
Oh, grass and beets. Yeah.
Lawn clippings and beets.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and then she's like, I really got to conk out. So she chooses a tile rectangle and she knocks the F out. He does warm it up for her, which is really nice.
Yeah, he warms the bed, which is something that we argued about in one of those acro
Which is something you should thank a person for, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Era Bertha.
And didn't I argue that it wasn't that big of a deal? I don't remember.
Yeah, you were
I just remember being opposed to you in some way.
Years.
Oh yeah.
Why is his qualm that she didn't thank him?
The Aromanthia didn't thank him for warming the bed, and it's like she raped you for 50 years, my dude. Like, where are your priorities at? Oh man. Anyway, this is no longer an Acroshmerv podcast. Okay,
that's right. So, all right. So then she wakes up. And she finds him in this like kinky sex swing. It's really just his bed though.
Yes.
But and when he sleeps, there's like pretty lights that happen under his skin, which I found really great.
I found that great too.
Yeah. Anyway, so then she's like, he explains the choosing. The first round is her turf. She has to do 5 different challenges. And then if she does that, then he has to do 5 different challenges. And then they have to do a challenge together if she chooses him.
Right.
So that's what the choosing is. And then he says that he can't believe that she's not attracted to Rizvan's charms.
Yeah.
And she's like, ugh, that tool. And then she smiles and he like sort of grimaces or something. And so she's like, oh, P.S. That's a happy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, would you mind not telling anyone else that? Because it would be
It's
great.
kind of the only good thing about you. So if you could like limit, I at least thought you were kind of intimidating. And it turns out that's not true.
Yeah. He doesn't neg her like that though, because he's great.
No.
Yeah. And then she agrees not to tell anyone else that. And he goes, thank you, terrible one. And she goes, hi, can we work on that? Can you call me like sweetheart or baby? And in a very melody moment, thank you very much. He says,
take a walk.
He says,
for the next 5 minutes.
Why would I comment on the delectable nature of your organs? Xylar shuddered delicately. It's even worse to infantilize you. Ah! It's true.
However, you've got to think about that through the translator, because she says the word heart to him several times and he then responds about organs. So I think that the translator translates heart to something like internal organ. So she probably said, would you mind calling me delicious internal organs or infant? And he was like, "Rah." What a weird thing.
Okay, anyway, now it's time for round one.
How dare you, Melody?
How dare I?
She says, just call me Beryl because that's my name. And he's like, great. Yeah. What does it mean? And she's like, it's a type of gemstone on my planet, like an emerald or an aquamarine. And he's like, oh, is that something that's valuable? And she's like, some of them are. And he says, well, then you are well named, my unexpected treasure.
He's such a sweetie sweet face.
Mm-hmm. And then throughout the rest of the book, he calls her my precious gemstone, my treasure. It's so good.
It's really nice. It's a big romance. I'll tell you that much. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for round one of the choosing.
Yes.
So she gets there and she meets this sentient plant who is wonderful. I don't remember why they start talking. I think Kerr talks to her first and she's like, oh, hello there.
Well, it starts because Beryl can't read. So she's got the babblefish where she can understand and people can understand her on Barath, but she cannot read the writing. Because obviously, why would the translator help a beast of burden understand how to read?
Right.
And that's how they start talking. I just don't remember.
Well, Kerr approaches her first. And she's like, oh, it's so nice to do, like nice to meet you. And Kerr actually says, wow, it's crazy to meet a competitor that's like nice.
Yeah. She says, are you new? And Beryl says, yeah, I just got here yesterday. Hey, by the way, you can't read, can you? Because they're trying to find their lockers and she doesn't know which one is hers.
Right.
And so Kerr helps her figure out. She's like, there's one that says precious gemstone and no one's at it. Is that possible? And she's like, yep, that sounds like me. And then Kerr talks about how brave she is for like just arriving yesterday and like fucking throwing it all in on the choosing. And so, yeah, they team up. They say they'll help each other. Kerr's already been through it once.
Right.
And Kerr is non-gender identified. So Kerr's pronouns are they, them.
Oh, it's great.
And Kerr says that they will team up with Beryl and strategize together with her.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So they go out there and the very first thing is that all of them are supposed to show the audience who they are. Because it's like a gladiator type situation.
Sylar.
I know. He knew about this.
Bitch out like a little bit. Like,
yeah.
You don't know what the challenges are going to be, but you knew this was going to be a thing.
Right.
And like this bitch doesn't have any arrows to shoot at the pig with the apple in it that's right next to what's his face. She
can't do any kind of Hunger Game.
No.
Although she wants to.
She wants to.
So people are doing like Kerr does a frond dance that looks like other people are doing what looks like martial arts katas. And so the only thing she can think of is this like 8th grade talent show thing where she danced like Napoleon Dynamite.
Part of this is definitely her doing the worm.
Whoa.
No one, like, this does not go over great. Like, everyone's kind of confused by it, but also it seems sexual, but they also don't know what her parts are. Like,
but it could be like a battle something or other. Like, because she's smiling the whole time. So it looks like she's like... Anyway, so then she steps back and then the challenge, like the real challenge that day rolls out and it is the Destroyer, you guys. It's serious fucking business.
Yeah.
It hasn't been pulled out in like 1100 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they've got to do the Destroyer. So it's this like grind 'em gears.
I'm sorry, it was your face. They can't even see your face. You're just like, all of a sudden, they gotta do that Destroyer. It's so, it was just funny. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So there's these like gears on it and there's like a smash 'em. And then there's some poles and some rings and you got to get the rings off the poles without getting the smash 'em or the geared. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one Barathi intended rolls up there and just immediately gets destroyed.
She just Dunn does get smashed right away.
She gets a super fatality. We're
with Xylar for this chapter. This is a head-hopping book, chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
Well, scene by scene, I guess. And we're in Xylar's point of view right now, and he can hear somebody behind him say, "Oh my God, Cater, wasn't that your girlfriend?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's really
sad.
You guys, it's a rough. Like, this is serious stuff.
It's a big rough." And then he sees Beryl and Kerr.
He hasn't even really warned her that there's danger involved.
No!
And now all of a sudden, the Destroyer is a part of this.
In his quasi-defense, this has not been a thing in like a really long time. And then in his other defense, he did give her humanoid gladiator stuff. So she's wearing sort of armory things.
Oh, I missed that.
That was what was in her precious gemstone.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Buxamahoozits. Yeah.
Right.
So he can see she and Kerr talk to each other a little bit, and it seems like Kerr like agrees with whatever she says, and then all of a sudden he sees Kerr pick her up in their fronds and just wing her up at this destroyer thing. Mm-hmm. And so she uses what he calls, oh my God, you guys, since like chapter 1, he has been calling her hands her grabbers. And it is one of the best details I've ever read in a book.
Adorable. It is when he talks about her teeny tiny grabbers.
Her grabbers.
My heart melts. It's so cute. I don't know why it's so cute, but it just is so cute.
It's a big fucking adorable. So she grabs on with those grabbers.
Oh my God, this moment where, okay. So if you're one of the watchers, if you're one of the chosen, but they're not chosens yet.
Yeah,
choselings. Well, anyway, if you're aspiring chosens, if you're out in the chosen bleachers, you're supposed to. There's like a decorum. And Xylar talks about how judgy he has always been about people that like say something encouraging, like that basically talk during the thing, because you're supposed to just sit there and be quiet. And when Beryl Bowman fucking hits that bar and like grabs onto that pole with her grabbers, he cannot stop himself. He jumps up and he yells, "Beryl Bowman, you can do it!" My heart sang when he yelled, "You can do it," from the audience. Oh, I love Xylar.
I love him so much.
And to his astonishment, she seemed to hear him. At least she turned and seemed to be searching his section. He lifted a claw and held it in the air as she pulled herself on top of the bar and then rose, balancing as the Destroyer whirred beneath her. So anyway, she kicks off a couple of those rings. Kerr catches them.
Yep.
And then Kerr catches her. And then they share the rings.
Jump. And she's like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And Kerr catches her. So they come in first place in that challenge. And it's great stuff. So afterwards, there's no more fatalities, thank goodness. But afterwards, Xylar goes into like the back room or whatever. And he's like, hey, Kerr, thank you so much for helping my intended. And Kerr says, I mean, of course, I would help anyway, but it was really nice that we struck up this alliance because there's no way I would have been able to get up there because they move on like little cilia. And so they can't, there's no way that they would have been able to get all the way up. And so they were like, I would have already been knocked out if it weren't for Beryl wanting to team up and being friends.
I would love to see some fan art of Kerr. I would love to see what people think they look like, because I have a vision in my head that is probably completely different from everyone else's. Like, this would be a great exercise. Everybody draw their version of Kerr.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Everybody draw what they think Kerr looks like and post it up in the cult. Do that.
Yeah, do it. I'm excited for it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So then, now what happens? They go to the garden, right? They take...
Yeah, because she's like, this is my new friend Kerr. And we should have you over sometime. Like,
oh, yeah. She's planning a dinner party, you guys.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. So, and then as she says, like, because he says, of course, we would be honored to host you in our quarters. And so Beryl like jumps up and down and grabs his claw and
squeezed
says, thank
his claw with her soft little grabber.
soul. And then it switches to her perspective, and she's like, I'm holding hands with an alien. This is so great. But also, I hope he's okay with this. And like, how do if I let go, I don't want him to think I'm rejecting him. And she's like, Beryl, you're overthinking this.
Well, yeah, because she starts thinking, because she's starting to feel a little bit like she really likes Xylar. Like, he's a good guy.
He's a good egg.
And she's like, am I supposed, like, okay, say this whole thing works out. Like, are we going to, like, do sex with each other?
Right.
And she's like, okay, if he hasn't put stuff in my butt by now, it's probably a safe bet that he's not going to put stuff in my butt. And, like, just me touching his claw isn't going to mean he's going to, like, do stuff to me. But, like, also, like, what does his junk look like? And, like, what can I do with it? And then she's like, stop it. Like, you weren't even the kinkiest girl you knew. Like, you have to stop thinking about all of his alien business.
She's into it. And I love that about her. Because she's just like, there's a few other times in this book where she's like, you know, I did something accidentally and I'm totally mortified, but I'm also kind of taking notes just in case we want to go there.
What I love about Beryl is she just like, she fucking goes with it. Like, whatever.
She rolls with the punches.
Yeah, she rolls with the punches more than any other human would on Earth.
Yeah.
So he chose wisely in that department.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So she suggests they go check on Helix, actually.
Oh, right.
And he's really excited about that. So there's no real progress.
Xylar's such like a fucking loser on his planet that his only friend is his AI that has to be his friend because it's his robot. Yeah. And I say fucking loser in the most endearing way.
Of course
Xylar is a king, but like for some reason his planet doesn't like him. Nobody will see it. And you guys, there's a lesson there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe look underneath the mottled brown surface. Yeah. Okay. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
there's a Xylar underneath. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, we got really preachy.
We got really preachy to like
nothing.
The choir. Okay.
True. Okay. So then he asks about Snaps. He's like, I don't get it. Is he your nestling? Like, is he your child? And she's like, I mean, kind of. I didn't gestate him, but I did adopt him. And so I'm responsible for him. And, you know, but like human babies are way less independent and way less useful. And he goes, oh yeah, our nestlings are like worthless until 3 spans or whatever. And then she says, see, common ground. And he goes, oh, no ground you stand upon could ever be common, Beryl Bowman.
Hot.
Hot.
Yes. There was another moment where she said that all these compliments he's giving her, like she's going to get a big head and she's going to become unbearable.
Unbearable.
She's like, you get it? Because my name's Beryl, unbearable. And it's like, of course not. Through his cow translator did he get that joke.
She does. I really like her because she's like, most of my humor falls flat here.
When he says that about her never being able to stand on common ground, she says it was such a perfect response that her heart skipped a beat and her insides went warm and fuzzy. With a human partner, she totally would have kissed him, but Xylar didn't have lips. How am I supposed to show affection toward him? When they'd known each other longer, she would definitely ask.
Oh, I love her so much. Oh, and then he says, like, I really appreciate you wanting to check on Helix because he's the only one who's ever been on my side. And she hugs him and she goes, that's not true anymore because you have me on your side. And the next chapter opens with him going, I'm really glad you're happy, but why are you grappling me?
They don't know hug.
Oh, it's great.
She does get a musk when she's hugging him. We don't have to talk about it. But she explains hugs to him and she's like, this is how we show affection on my planet is we put our arms around the other person. And so he wants to show her affection back.
Wait, my favorite detail, though, is that she says it's supposed to make you feel less alone.
Yes.
And as a person who's really missing friend hugs right now, I'm like,
guys, Melody hugs in a way that's like, I mean, it's consensual, I guess, because I love Melody, but like it's more firm and long than you want it to be.
Hey, Erin.
Yeah.
I just have to confess to you right now. The next time we see each other, it's gonna get weirder.
Why? Wait,
I'm
why?
missing hugs so badly. I'm gonna
What else are
require
you
like
gonna
a.
do to me? What do you mean? Are
I'm
you
just gonna
in my butt? Melody. I know
Your
what
tuchus
butt
is
plugs
safe
look
around
like.
me.
And along
wait.
with knowing what your butt plugs look like, let me
Yeah.
make a plug for the Patreon because you could as well if you become a patron of the Heaving Bosoms podcast. Anyway, get how I did that. Plug.
I really
Double
liked
plug.
it. Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Double plugged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
No, I think I'm going to need like a couch snuggle. You know, like it's just been a long
All right,
time without
I can
friend
nuzzle
contact.
you a little bit. All right,
Oh
that's fine.
my God, you'll throw in a nuzzle.
Yeah, I'll do a nuzzle.
I feel so special.
Okay, so she's like, this, so he admits to himself it does in fact make him feel less alone.
Yeah,
with her grappling him, and so he wants to do it back, and so he takes his big claws and kind of like places them on her back, and he's like, "Am I doing it right?" And she's like, "Totally, perfect."
She's into it. So they have to take Snaps out for a walk, and she's like, "Can you get me like a leash or a collar or anything?" And he's like, "You would like some sort of apparatus to what does he say?" It's like
to restrain the movement of others or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so he goes and he gets this really long, super strong strand of cord that he made himself.
He invented
He spent
this.
a lot. Yeah.
You guys, his brother, Reisver, he invented a lot of stuff that was like really important, like vaccines and stuff. And so Xylar wanted to be an inventor too, so that he could be important and stuff. And he invented, you guys, rope.
Plastic rope.
Like, this is like a very technologically, they're flying around in pods and shit. They got AI that's like sentient and stuff.
How dare you?
What? What? I'm saying Xylar is very important because he invented fucking rope on a planet that has all this technology, and Xylar's like, what about rope? And everybody's like, rope useless. Dude, rope very useful.
It is.
Are you kidding me, Barack? Like, it's true. How do they do all this shit without rope? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
How
especially since they have
the
like a
without a pulley system. I don't get it.
Right.
Rope useful. I don't understand. Xylar invented rope. Like, we don't know who invented rope because it was like before written history, but like,
it's
whoever
true.
invented rope is like a big fucking deal here on
like,
Earth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Rope
you
important.
so much.
Rope useful.
Rope help much.
I'm probably using rope right now in some way, shape, or form. Anyway,
Of course. Anyway, so he did that. And his whole family was like, ugh, I'm pooping on it. Don't do that.
We poop on your rope.
We'd rather make whatever Rizvin's making.
Yeah.
Okay. So she is stoked about it. She's like, this is perfect.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for rope.
Thank you. Thank you for rope. I needed this.
Let me be the first.
So, I just pulled this really cute quote from right here. It's not super important, but I loved it because it said, though he didn't enjoy looking at her yet, her voice was quite lovely when she wasn't incapacitating him with that powerful screech. Okay. Oh yeah. So they go to the garden.
This part.
Me
You
too.
guys,
I love this hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. They've had all these plants. Okay, so first, this is one of the things I love about this book so much is like Snaps is there. So it's like a very serious, good part. But I want you to know that while all of this is happening, Snaps is digging a hole off to the side and yelling things like, "The hole is done. I've dug the hole," while they're like getting sweet and intimate, which I love. Okay.
Yep.
So she is looking around at all these alien blossoms and she says, they're beautiful. And he starts to look at her features and just he can see how truly genuine she is in describing the beauty of the garden. And that is attractive to him, that she loves something so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
of course. Yeah. She's in awe of it. And
that
he
she has
really
this
neat.
genuine reaction to the beauty of the garden
Right.
is very beautiful to him. And he starts wanting to touch her.
Touch up on her a little bit.
And she says, why are you looking at me like that? With, again, eyeballs from the sides of his heads. So, like, do you think he just looks at her with, like, one eye? And, like, they're on the side. Anyway, he's like a halibut. Like a chameleon. But
Like
they
a
can make
hammerhead
their
shark.
eyes move all around, though. Anyways, she says, why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah.
And he says, I'm wondering if it would be acceptable to touch you.
Oh.
And then, she's like, you want to do it right now? He's like, no.
Because she's like, I would not like to do it right now. I'm not there yet. And he's like, no, me neither. I have to earn that in the choosing. But I do just want to like figure you out.
I'm curious about you. And I hope that you are curious about me. And she's like, yeah, you can touch me as long as it's not too intimate, as if he would like even know.
Right.
Which she says, she's like, I don't even know how he would know what's intimate and what's not, but I guess I'll tell him. And he goes, your fur, what purpose does it serve? And she's like, I don't know, fashions.
Right.
So he starts taking his like claw talons and like dragging them through her like human head hairs. And like
on her scalp,
scratching her scalp just like delicately and stuff. And you guys, she is into it.
She is immediately turned on. It sends bazingas straight to her puckered nipples.
Wow.
It's good stuff.
Melody.
What? That's
he
what
says
it says.
he likes how soft
Read it,
her
Erin.
fur
No,
feels.
how dare you? Talk about the puckered nipples.
It does not say bazingas to her puckered nipples. It says that her nipples got hard. It does not say how. Look, Google it up in the book. It does not say that. Okay.
Listen, bazinga was my flair, okay? But
I don't even think it says
she talks
puckered.
about
It says tight nipples, hard nipples.
Tingles to her heart.
You guys, you're ruining
involved.
it. You're ruining it. It's a big sweet and it's a big
I'm so sorry.
good. She's got shivers going down her spine.
Shivers.
And then he says, thank you for permitting me to explore. You have my consent to do the same if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
And so she starts like touching up on his like neck poofer.
His neck ruff.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a dolphin skin. And she's like all up in there. Oh, I think first she touches the part after that she touches the part in between his claws.
No, well, not yet. So she's touching up on the webbing in between his neck ruff. And he's like trying desperately to stay still. And so she says, is this okay? And he says, yes. And so she just takes that at face value. Except as she keeps on touching his neck ruff, he starts to like a full body tremble. And she's like, what is happening? And he's like, my neck frill, it's a
his
mating
boobs parts.
overture. It's a mating overture. And she goes, I've been touching an erogenous zone?
Yeah, it's like his neck scrotum,
no
you guys.
idea. Yeah,
She's
it's a
just
big neck
like-
scrotum.
It's his big neck scrotum.
Yeah.
She's just been tickling it.
And she's especially been tickling it because, like, we learn later that part of the Barathi and Barathi sex is them stimulating each other's neck ruffs.
Uh-huh.
But they can't do it the way Beryl does because they don't have these delicate little dexterous grabbers.
All they have is claws.
Yeah, and so mostly they just like schmoof it around a little bit.
How do you think like manufacturing started? Like they just don't seem to have any kind of like opposable thumb situation. They seem to have like very like how do they like I know they don't have teeth and they don't brush their teeth, but like that kind of stuff. Like how do they brush their teeth in the morning? How do they like do I don't understand. How things get made.
Very carefully,
I guess because they have are these big sharp claws, you guys. So
yeah. Anyway,
anyways.
so then she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea." And he's like,
says,
"I told you could.
Yeah,
I just
yes.
tried to withstand it for as long as I could."
He says no one's ever touched him there, you guys.
Oh,
Again,
my
because he's such a
gosh.
big loser. Oh.
He's such a mottled brown.
He's a neck ruffle scrotum virgin.
Yeah. And so then she walks away and she's like trying desperately to like throw all her energy into snaps and like the plants, and it's awkward. And so then he comes over and he's like, "What's wrong?" And he takes a talon and puts it under her chin so that he can pull her head up.
He does
and look
the big
him.
romance hero pull your chin up to look at me, but with a space talon.
Yeah. And so she's like, so she pulls her hand up because she's like, I don't really like the idea of basically like an ice pick right near my throat right now. So she goes to take his hand down, but then she finds out that the webbing in between his claws is like deer antler soft. And so she starts touching up on that and she's exploring his hand and he starts trembling again. And she's like, "Is this also an erogenous zone?" And he's like, "No, we just can't touch each other there without giving each other injuries because of our claws."
He says, "We don't do this. Our claws don't allow it without injury. So it's not a mating overture. But it makes me feel ... that way."
Oh.
The last two words came out sounding like a question. "I'm happy about that," she said.
Yes.
"There are things that feel sexual to me, but might not to you. This gives me a hope that we can find a median path and devise something that is unique to us, perfectly ours." Ours, he repeated in the gorgeous subharmonic that gave her goosebumps.
I have that whole passage copied and pasted too. Yeah.
There's no way to discern because I have about 5 full pages.
I know,
so
same.
It's a miracle I even found that.
Okay, and so the chapter ends with her being like, "I don't super understand these feelings, but I'm going to follow them wherever they take me because it feels right."
And you guys, it's just like, you have to read it because it's just so natural how they, it doesn't feel like fated mates. It doesn't feel like it really feels like they hit it off with just like mutual respect for each other. Right. And it doesn't feel weird when it crosses over to physical touching. It's fucking seamless. Like, it is. The writing is so incredible. Good. And then you get these
the world building.
Yeah. And then you just get these little breaths of comic relief because, again, during that scene, you have Snaps over in the corner yelling, "I dug a hole. It's done. Come see."
Dig, dug a hole.
Dig.
Look at the plants. This hole is done. Yeah.
Hey, Melody.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop?
Yeah, I think we got to stop.
Okay. All right.
It's a 2-parter.
Do you have a lady love?
Oh, yeah, I have many of them. All of them are food related. So,
yes, I'm food motivated. So, hit me with it.
Oh, you know what? I have to do a non-food one first. Ugh.
What? Why?
Right.
Boo.
Because I want to make sure everybody watches this. You guys, you have to watch the L Word Generation Q.
Wait, how?
It is.
I thought you've been watching that for like weeks or whatever. How long have you been watching this?
Well, the L Word is its own show.
Sure. Did you rewatch the L Word to start watching this one?
No.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Somebody who I'm close to blew off something with me to go to watch the L Word. And I swore it was you that was like, I haven't even started editing because I've been just watching the L Word nonstop. Or somebody
that could have been
said
me.
This to me like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago that I watched it. But
okay.
Yeah, the L Word Generation Q, you guys. You have to watch it. It's so good.
Do you have to remember the L Word to watch it?
No.
Because like I have zero memory of the L Word.
No, you don't. They do enough to make sure that you're just immediately tossed in.
Okay.
And it's only 3 characters from the original show are back. And they reference other characters, but they explain everything that they need to, you know? And if you don't get it, then it won't matter, honestly. And then the rest of the characters are all brand spanking new and they're brand spanking hot. And it's a good time.
All right, hit me with some food.
Oh, you know what I've been doing lately?
What?
I've been adding Okay, so I've been adding chia seeds to my brown rice every week. And it is incredible. So when you're making your brown rice, because why would you make any other kind of rice?
It's sticky and delicious.
I mean, sure.
Sticky, perfect, and delicious. I don't understand.
Well, if you add chia seeds to your brown rice, it's extra sticky, perfect, and delicious. It's really good, actually. Yeah.
I was really hoping it would be more fun than chia seeds in your brown rice. I thought you were going to tell me about a new candy, but instead you told me about a new health.
Well, I did this week make peanut butter cookies with chopped up peanut M&ms. That was a revelation.
Tell me about that.
It's de-fucking-licious. And I don't know why I don't make peanut butter cookies more, because the peanut butter replaces all like the butter that you normally need in a recipe. So I don't even have to like figure out a butter replacement. It's just peanut butter. It's incredible. So chop up some peanut butter M&Ms and toss them in some peanut butter cookies, and you have yourself the tastiest treat. Do
you know what? I'm going to make this my lady love. Do you know about monster cookies?
Oh my God. Yes.
I just found out.
I can't believe I burned 3 lady loves for you just now because I was trying to impress you.
Oh, yeah, you did. Seed. I'm sorry. I
cannot believe you. How dare you?
If it makes you feel better, you also spawned a lady love by saying M&M and cookie, which meant that I remembered mine. Does that help you out?
That did a great thing for me.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, okay. I'll say that. Okay,
hers is monster cookies.
I just found out about them.
They're like, there's oatmeal in them and M&Ms and chocolate chips. And is there coconut flakes? No.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Yeah, but they're naturally gluten-free.
Why?
Did you know that?
Because they use oats?
It's the oats. The oats are what keeps them together. So they're a gluten-free boy. And I think they might actually be a vegan boy, too. Because I don't see any butter on here. I think it's the peanut butter that does the heavy lifting with
it's brilliant.
Yeah, you guys, delicious. I found out about these from a coworker who demands gluten-free cookies on the daily from the coffee shop near our work, and they were out, so we went to a slightly further coffee shop, and she asked if they had gluten-free cookies, and they were like, "Of course, ma'am. All of these are gluten-free." And she just like lost her shit. So now I know about them.
Wow.
Should I burn through my other? Do you want me to burn through my other lady loves so I can be even with you?
No, Erin. I want you to save them so that we have good content for later on. I do appreciate that you want to be in the trenches with me, though. I love that about you.
Yeah.
You're my foxhole friend.
You're my foxhole friend. I'm feeling bad that I said that I had a friend that blew off something with me. That was the wrong thing to say. If I didn't mean it like that.
I didn't take it like that.
Good.
So
I didn't
fine.
But I just remembered somebody being like, "Oh, I would have done this," but I was watching the L Word. Good. I'm glad you didn't take it like that. Okay.
No, I really took a poop on a lot of personal responsibility while burning through L Word.
I remember the L Word being a part of that. And then I was like, what other friend could that possibly have been? Like, taking a poop on personal responsibility to watch the L Word is very on brand. Who else could that? Not that all my friends and me don't take poops on personal responsibility, but for the L Word Generation Q, very melody.
That's a full me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Keep being a badass.
And love yourself as much as you love. Oh, do you have one?
Those chitlins. You gotta love yourself as much as you love those schmabdomen chitlins.
Kittens. I think it's called a kitten. Is it a kitten? Because I looked it up and it did say kitten. God, I'm an idiot. Man, I was going to say love yourself as much as you love the fact that rope was invented here on our world, Earth.
There we go.
And that whenever the guy that invented rope was like, "Is this something?" Everyone around him wasn't like, "No, fuck you. That's nothing. What would we use that for? Go away." Like they did on Barack.
I am really happy that people had the other reaction here.
Yeah. give us that rope. We need pulleys. We need leashes. We need to hang stuff from stuff. We need to fish, you know?
Yeah.
We need hair ties, you know?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A world
No,
without
I don't
rope?
want to.
What would we do?
Ugh.
Anyway, twine.
Anyway.
We wouldn't have it. Anyway. Parachutes.
Thanks,
nope.
Xylar.
Yeah, thanks,
No,
Xylar.
never. I think that's what his name was here too.
Do you want to just stay on for another hour just naming things that involve rope?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right.
Notice I haven't named a single thing because that's where my brain is
Do
at.
you not know about rope? That's weird. Macrame. Thanks, Xylar.
There you go.
Knitting. Thanks, Xylar.
Yeah. I still can't.
Do you ever watch Billy on the Street?
No.
Sometimes he runs up to somebody and he asks for something that's like the most obvious thing, but their brain just like locks up. Like he was running around asking people to name a woman and they just couldn't do it. Like any woman, like they couldn't do it. And like he played a game with Rachel Dratch where he asked her to name 20 white people and she couldn't do it. She's like, my mom, she just couldn't think of any white people. Just like something where there's so many choices you just can't, like, your whole brain locks up. That's what's happened to you. He could run up to you and be like, name something with rope, and you'd be like, and he'd be like, fuck you, you're dumb, and keep running. That's what would happen.
It's nets.
Anyway.
I got one. Nets.
Oh, a net? Good job. Good job, Melody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.